Good evening. How are you doing? It is late good evening tonight. It is like 3:05 a.m. And yeah, are you ready for it? I completely crashed out. My day did not really go as planned today. This lip balm is gone. It's like I think I've used as much of it as I can possibly use. Anyway, today did not go as much. I got a little hair on the end of my hat as I had planned. I didn't feel sick, but I just was really dragging today. Do you ever just have those days? And my plan was to get up, go get a coffee, come back, shower, make a bunch of videos, and then like do a live stream later, and I was gonna go work out tonight and all this kind of stuff, and it just never happened. Like, it did not happen, and it sure didn't happen in that order. I don't know what happened. I just kind of like, well, first of all, I got up and I went and took the dogs out and gave PBS medicine and stuff, and then I went into the basement and like just kind of got like stuck down there going through stuff because I'm trying to clean out the basement right now. And so I was down there for a long time cleaning out books. I've still got so many books to go through, but I've been going through books and trying to get books cleaned out and all that kind of stuff. And then once I get that done, I'm going to go through like my record albums and DVDs and CDs. That's the next thing I'm going to go through. And then clothes is after that. But like as I go, the thing is, like, I'll hit a box that has like stuff in it that I don't need, if that makes sense. Just like old pointless stuff. And so yeah, but I got stuck down there, and then I came upstairs, and then I took the dogs out again, and then I went and got a coffee and just kind of drove around for a little bit, talked on the phone to some people, and I went to Meijer, and I was like sitting here, I was like, did I vlog earlier? Because I was going to vlog and show everything that I got at the grocery store when I got home. And I was like, no, I never started vlogging. But I bought all kinds of stuff for my new healthy living. Somebody recommended on my vlog tonight for me to like Google vegetarian keto diet, which I'm going to do when I get home before I go to bed, because I am struggling a little bit. I did it today. I don't know how I did it, but I'm struggling like meeting all of the goals. And like I was really low on my protein today. And even if I had had a protein shake, I'm trying to turn the heat. It's like super hot in here right now. Even if I had had a protein shake, it would have put me way over on my carbs. So I'm not really sure what to do. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll have to just like, you know, go with it from day to day. And then my trainer texted me and he was like, don't forget, we're trying to hit those goals, and you said you were coming in here tonight and stuff. And every bit of me was planning on going in tonight. Well, Alex came home. He went out to dinner with his girlfriend that he works with on Wednesday nights. And he went out to dinner and he got home about 9:30 or something. So we lay there and we talked for a long time, and he was like, I'm gonna watch a TV show, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna lay here while you watch the show. When you're done, I'll get up and I'll go work out and I'll vlog. And that would have been like from 10 to 11. And I set my alarm for like 11 and 11:15. And I woke up at like, he was at like midnight, he was going to bed finally, and he was like, can you turn the alarm off? And I was like, yeah, sorry. And so I turned it off. And I woke up at like 2:40. So I guess I needed the sleep. I don't know, but I did not make it to the gym tonight. Which means tomorrow, I definitely have to go to the gym. I cannot miss another day at the gym. And I really wanted to go tonight too, but I just didn't want to go at, 3 o'clock in the morning and then vlog, and then and I have to be up tomorrow. I have a hair appointment at 11, so I would have way slept in tomorrow. I'm really thirsty for a bottle of water. I was going to stop at that Speedway, but I think I'll stop at the next Speedway. Anyway, so that was my day. And I actually wasn't going to, like, by the time that I got out of the house and got stuff going, I was like, I just guess I won't film any videos today because I'm so behind on time and stuff that I have to do, and I had a bunch of errands I had to go run. But I had my camera with me to vlog. That's what happened. I had my camera with me to vlog, and so I was like, I'm just going to, I'm just going to film a video right now because I had a rant video that I wanted to do, so I did a rant video. And then I was kind of like in the mood to make videos, and when I got home, which was like at 7:30, I was like, I'm going to make a Peterisms video, but I didn't end up doing that. So anyway, how are you guys doing today? Are you having a good day? What is it, Thursday for you? It's almost the weekend. Can you believe it? It's almost the weekend. It seems weird. My hands are so dry. This weather's gonna really put me over the edge this year. And I don't have any lotion in my car. I wonder if I did this hand sanitizer stuff, if it would. Do you think it would make my hands more dry? Maybe it has like, yeah, it's gonna make my hands more dry. The other thing I was looking for today that I couldn't find was, I want some of those, well, maybe not. Maybe it made them a little bit smoother. I want some of those mittens, that cut off, like, do you know what I'm talking about? But I couldn't find them anywhere. If this light never changes if you're too far, and I think I might have gone a little too far ahead. Oh. So that was my day, and yeah, I have to sit here for a whole other round of this lights going around. Don't you hate that? Oh my God. And there's literally like nobody coming either way either. I'm just like sitting at this four-way stop. And then I just went through the bank machine to get money out to tip my hairstylist tomorrow, and I realized I had cash in my car already. As soon as I was like pushing cancel, I realized it, and I was like pushing cancel, and then I was like, it already pushed my money out. Oh, Merry Christmas. I did sleep well though tonight. It was so cozy, and the dogs were up there, and the last time that this happened to me at this exact light, I had to wait for another car to come up to turn for it to change. I hope, see, it's like the other light changed, but this light didn't change, the light that I'm at. Please don't do this tonight. Oh, thank God it changed. Boo and Tucker new food tonight. I can't remember what brand it is, but it's something that the vet recommended, and they literally, like, PB ate it, and I mean to tell you, in less than 2 minutes. I sent a picture to Alex. I was like, oh my God, PB ate this food down right away, because, like, he picks at that food, that chicken and rice, and the other food that we had, he picked at, and this food tonight, he, like, just devoured. He loved it. So that makes me happy. Because now we have something that, and Boo and Tucker loved it too. They like were literally licking their plates. They loved it so much. And I gave them a ton too. Found my Christmas tree that I had up last year. So I'm gonna bring that upstairs and put that up one of these days, in the next couple days. There's scooters on the side of the road. There's 4 of them, 5 of them. I'm gonna put the Christmas tree up in the next couple days, and I got some other Christmas decorations too. When Alex and I, the first couple years that we were together, we would like buy ornaments together, and I have those ornaments down in the basement. I found them in it says shoe brand Aldo. Is that what it is? we had it like in a shoebox down, like 2 Aldo shoe boxes that we had like, Alex had saved them very nicely in like tissue wrapping and tissue paper. So I found those, but I don't really know what to do with them because they don't really. The other tree that I put up last year, I used all ornaments that my aunt had left me because she knew that I love those ornaments, and so she split them between me and Caroline Caroline's other cousin. My God, there's all over scooters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm serious. Look, here's more scooters. There's 2 lonely scooters. Hey, should we get some more? 3 scooters. Look, there's 5 scooters right there. There's scooters all over the place. I don't know why that cracks me up so much, but it does. Did it just focus? I almost brought like a Starbucks cup of water with me, and I was like, no, I'm not that thirsty, and if I get thirsty, I'll stop somewhere. And I didn't stop before I started my vlog, so I was like, well, if I get really thirsty, I can stop when I'm doing my vlog. This used to be a club right here. I don't know what it is now, but we used to go there. It was called Eden back in the day. This club right here. Do you see it's like 3 stories high? And it was called Eden back in the day. And basically my friends and I thought we ran that place. And I saw my cousin out there one time, and she was like, yeah, and she was like, came up and talked to me, and like I was like dancing on a box at the very front right next to the DJ thing and stuff. And so Caroline and I actually were talking about it on Thanksgiving, and I said something to her about seeing her out there, and I said, well, that must have been after I was sober, like a couple years after. She goes, no, you were drunk when I saw you. I said, oh, was I? She goes, yeah. Oh, people have their Christmas trees up in their windows of their apartment. That's so pretty, I think. I'm trying to think of a story or something to tell you guys. Sometimes the vlog just like kind of flows naturally, and other times, like I like to think of stories, and the stories like kind of jump from one to the other, to the other, to the other. I was reading the comments on the vlog from yesterday before I left. People were telling, like, tell Tanya not to be so self-conscious to be in the vlog. I don't know why she is. And she's always like that with like pictures. She's always in the back, like all you can see is like her head. She, you know, and I'm like, and it was interesting because I mean Tanya and I have been like on a weight loss diet thing, I feel like for the last 20 years, you know, we're always doing different stuff. And I was telling her about what I'm doing, and she said, I'm just about to get ready to give up. And I said, what do you mean? And she was like, I'm just ready to give up on all of it. She was like, I just can't, like, she was like, I feel like nothing that I do works. And I was like, Tanya, you've lost a lot of weight in the last couple years. And she's like, I know, but then I feel like I put it back on. And she's like, it's just this constant struggle. But I think, like, part of it, you know, is getting older, too. It's like, you know, I think, like, when I was in my 20s, I could literally, I mean, I joked about it in a video. I said I could run down the street and lose 20 pounds, but I really could, you know? Like, I could, you know, run and maybe watch one meal and literally lose, like, 10 pounds and still eat what I wanted to eat, you know what I mean? Like, it was so easy for me to lose weight in, like, my 20s and stuff. In my 30s, it got a little bit harder, but that was really when my late 20s and my early 30s, up to when I met Alex, was when I was really kind of, like, hardcore about working out and my health and exercising and things like that, you know, and I think it's not so hard at that age, but it's starting to get harder, you know, when you're in your early 30s. And then by the time you hit 40, it's like, and your metabolism starts to change, you really notice it. I mean, I think unless you are just so naturally thin, like if you're genetically just a thin person, I think most people probably 40 going forward have to some degree watch what they eat and and have some kind of activity in their life, or they will put on weight. Because the thing is it's like, it just, your body starts changing. And you start gaining weight in places that you wouldn't have gained weight, let's say 20 years before, you know? And I mean, back in the 20s, when I gained weight, I always gained it in my butt. I mean, always. And I don't gain weight in my butt at all anymore. I gain it in my chest and in my gut. I never gained weight in my gut back then. You know, I always gained it in my butt or in my face. And that changes as you get older, and it's, man, it's hard, you know? And so I think, like most people, by the time you hit 40, plus going forward, 50, you really have to have, like, be active and have some kind of activity that you're doing, exercise, as well as eating somewhat healthy, or you're going to be out of shape. I would say most of the people that I know, you know, then I think that there's a lot of people that, like, you know, like my friend Melissa, like, she's rather thin and she doesn't work out, but she really watches what she eats. And, like, she and Jason, does it seem like really dark in here to you tonight compared to usual? She and Jason eat really healthy throughout the week. And it's interesting when we go out to eat, like, Jason is really focused on eating healthy. Like, he always just gets, like, a piece of fish or, you know, grilled chicken or something like that. I mean, he is super, super, super healthy when we go out to eat. And very conscious of, you know, what he's putting into his body and stuff like that. I think Alex thinks it's catching up with him, but it's not. Like, I don't notice that he's gained any weight, really. And he still looks, you know, like he's in great shape. But he watches a little bit more. And really, since he started doing that Optavia thing, I mean, he's not doing Optavia anymore, but since he started doing it, and I talked the other day, I think it was yesterday, about why I'm not doing it. But he, you know, he, like, he'll go out, like, we never, like, whenever he gets a cheeseburger, he always gets a protein style. Like, he never, gets a whole bun on there. Like, the other night, it kind of surprised me when he ate the bottom half of the bun, and I was like, because I even looked at the bun, I was like, what is that? I thought it was like a piece of chicken on the bottom of the cheeseburger, because it looked, you know what I mean? Like, it looked like, it was like white. Not white, but it looked like, you know, it was like the bread. And he goes, it's the bun. And I go, you're eating the bun? And he was like, yeah. Because he almost never does. But then, like, you know, Alex will eat pretty healthy through the week, or I'll be like, what did you get for lunch today? And he'll be like on Wednesdays a lot, there's like this restaurant right by them that they love, and they'll get like miso soup, and that's all they'll have for lunch, and then they'll go out somewhere for dinner. But like tonight, I said, what did you have to eat? And he was like, steak medallions, and I think he had asparagus. Well, when you think about it, like, that's pretty healthy, honestly, you know? And, but through the week, you know, he'll typically eat something like a salad or whatever, or Chipotle. Like, he'll get, like, you know, a burrito bowl. I am, like, not having any luck with the lights tonight, am I? But then every once in a while, like once a week, he'll come home and he'll just, like, eat like crazy. I mean, like, you know, just, like, bring a bag of chips. Although he's kind of hooked on those veggie chips now. See, like, the things that he eats are pretty healthy. Even candy, like, he eats Sour Patch Kids, which really aren't that horrible for you. So, and he doesn't, like, if I was gonna sit there and eat Sour Patch Kids, like, I would eat, you know, like, the entire bag. Like, he doesn't do that. He'll eat, like, 2 handfuls and then he's done. If he eats veggie chips, he'll sit there and eat them for, like, 3 or 4 minutes and then he's done. I mean, whereas I go, like, all in, you know what I mean? This little house over here was the house that I was talking about when I said that I like these multicolored lights. I've been really into watching, like, crime documentaries and crime shows lately, like murder stuff, like IDTV and all that kind of stuff. Is that, I don't know, but anyway. And I've been watching, so many people have recommended it to me. I don't know why I just started watching it, but I've been watching the confession tapes on Netflix. Have you guys seen this? And it very much reminds me of like the Brendan Dassey confession on Making a Murderer. These kind of like coerced confessions. Although the second story, I'm so confused by. I don't really know that I understand it fully. I'm not done with it. I'm on the second one. Well, the first one is like, there's those pretty blue trees that I showed the other day. The first one is like 2 episodes. And it's about this kid and his friend that killed their parents. And I don't really know what I think about that. Like, I don't really know what like, when I walked away from it, I was like, I don't know if I think they did it or if I think they didn't do it. It doesn't seem to me like they did it, but it seems to me like they were capable of it, which is, you know, they even interviewed some of the jurors on there, which I thought was really interesting. And then the other one that I'm watching now is, I can't remember what it's called. The first one's called True East. And because it has a lot to do with like the Muslim religion, and they think it's, anyway, watch it, it's good. The confession tapes on Netflix, it's interesting. But then the second one is about this guy and his girlfriend is like strangled or something, and then she burns in this bar that she like sleeps at sometimes. The whole story is so sketch and so sad. And then he drank like a case of beer that day, and they're like, the police told him that he was in a blackout, and it's so weird how they get to the confession on that one, but he doesn't remember doing it, but he confesses to it anyway. I'm like, okay, that would never happen with me. I'm sorry, but I don't know. Like, the whole thing is very scary. It's very weird. It's weird when you watch like those documentaries like that, and I was coming up here on Speedway, and I was like, is Speedway closed? But all their lights are on, so they're not closed. But it's weird when you watch that stuff, and what you realize is, you know, like, this is not just a TV show. Like, this is somebody's like real life, you know? And I think when you watch documentaries enough, it's like you kind of get to the point where it seems like more like entertainment at some point than like a real life documentary or something, if that makes sense. Like, it's weird, you know what I mean? I'm almost at the end of this because it like goes to almost 24 minutes. So I'm just gonna talk here for a second until it ends, and then I wanna go get some water. But yeah, it's like weird. It's because like with the Making a Murderer thing, oh, well, okay, so in the confession tape thing, I don't wanna like ruin it for you. I guess I'm about to. But the way that it ends, it's like, especially with this one guy, I mean, he's like basically stuck in prison for the rest of his life. And like, that's the same thing with all these exhausted appeals and whatever with Making a Murderer, you know? It's like, well, okay, it's a television show, and, you know, and I'm sitting here wondering like what's gonna happen next. But for these guys, like, this is their life, like, you know? And for the family of the victim, it's their life. And I don't know, it's just so sad to me. It's just so sad to me. I found my wallet yesterday. On the road again. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. I got a new kind of water tonight. I got Body Armor Electrolyte Sports Formula Superior Hydration pH 8+. So we're gonna see if this is the real deal. If I feel super hydrated, because I feel dry right now. You know, like when you're dry and it's cold outside and you drink water right away and your eyes water, you know it's good. You know it is good, mama. I love cold water. It's like one of my favorite things in life. And I do like this bottle. I would give this a pretty high score. I still like the taste of core water better. It's so funny when I talk to people about like the taste of bottled water, and they're like, can you really taste bottled water? And I'm like, yeah, can't you? And they're like, no. And I'm like, you can't taste bottled water? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I mean, I feel like the different water has different tastes to it. Like, I can totally tell the difference between like, I don't know that I could name it, but I know that like Aquafina and Dasani I don't like, as well as like Evian tastes pretty good. Core is my favorite. Smart Water is really good. Smart Water and Core are probably my two favorites. Fiji, I can probably tell a difference in Fiji. I love it. The problem with Fiji is the bottles don't fit into my little round cup holders thing, or I would get it more often. I think actually I've heard that Fiji water is supposed to be like one of the best waters for you. Do you guys know? I'm sure one of you out there has read an article on like what's the best bottled water. Or does it not matter? And it's all just a hoax. I was gonna have Alex, like I was gonna do this review on my review channel of me like taste testing different kinds of bottled water, but I was gonna have it like against tap water, so I wouldn't know the difference. Because I drink tap water all the time. My husband, he finally got a new filter for, we have like one of those pure water tanks, you know, in our refrigerator. I bought it for him like years ago. And he just fills it up. But he will only drink water from this thing, okay? Because he said it like, you know, goes through and it filters out like the water or whatever. But I'll just drink tap water, I don't have a problem. Like I have this big like gallon like thing you'd make lemonade in or whatever. And I just fill it up with water and I put it in the refrigerator so it's cold. But like if I fill his glass with that, he won't drink it. He's like, that's tap water. I'm like, it's all tap water. He's like, no, I only like to drink bottled or purified water. Which you would think that we would buy a lot of bottled water and have it in the house, but we just don't. For a while, I mean, he bought Gatorade, because he really likes that. Well, he likes real Gatorade or G2. I mean, he doesn't mind the G2, but he really likes the real Gatorade. And so he bought a bunch of it from Costco. And I like it too. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes, like, I don't like anything that has flavor to it, you know, like water-wise drinking it. Which is interesting. It looks a lot colder out tonight than it is. Because I let PP out before I left, and it looked so cold outside, and I stood in the doorway, and he just like ran outside really quick, and he like peed right by the door, and then he came back in. And it looked like it was freezing cold outside. And then like I walked outside and I was like, well, it's not too bad. Like this isn't too bad at all. So tomorrow I have a hair appointment. And then Alex after work is hanging out with Sarah tomorrow night. So I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow night. I will probably do a live stream since I didn't end up doing one tonight. That had kind of been my plan. Well, I definitely need to go work out tomorrow night because I didn't tonight. And I really did want to get to the gym today, but that did not happen. You know, back in the day, like, I was such a, I mean, I'm still a list maker, but I'm not as much of a list maker as I used to be. I mean, some days I make lists and some days I don't now. And, back in the day, like, I would have been really, really frustrated if, like, I didn't, if I didn't, like, fulfill all of my, things on my list, or, like, a majority of them. I would have been really frustrated with myself. But I don't feel like that today. You know, now I'm just kind of like, well, that's life and stuff happens, and like I was kind of like beating myself up about not getting these Harry Potter books done when I said I was going to get them done. And in all honesty, like this month I probably would have listened to 4 or 5 other audiobooks, but because I've been dragging my ass through Goblet of Fire, which I'm almost done with, I didn't get to read anything else. And then I was like, well, I was also wanting to read Order of the Phoenix this month so I could be completely caught up and get back on track, and that didn't happen. And so I was like, well, I'll do that for December. And I was thinking about it today, and I was like, you know, I'm reading these books for me. I am not reading them for anybody else, right? And like, I may take December off from Harry Potter and just read what I want to read, because like I'm getting through the series. Like I'm obviously not going to stop mid-series and not finish them, especially when I only have 5, 6, and 7 to finish. But I'm like, I don't know that like I want to dedicate another month to just listening to Harry Potter books. And the thing is that they take a long time to get through on Audible. They take a long time to read, but they're so long on Audible. And I was like, there are a lot of books that I want to listen to on Audible right now. So when I finish Goblet of Fire, I think I'm taking a month off from the Harry Potter stuff, and that'll just be how it is, because it's just taking me a long time to get through them. And I'm like, I want to listen to some holiday books this month. I want to listen to like the Hank Green new book. I want to listen to the Golden State Killer book. And those are books that I can like whip through really quick, because once I get into it, it's like, but like with the Harry Potter book, like it took me so long to get past the part with the Quidditch World Cup. I mean, I honestly, like this, I know for you lovers of Harry Potter out there, I just don't really care about the whole Quidditch thing. And I feel like so much of the books are dedicated to that. And especially Goblet of Fire, like the first, I don't know, 8th of it was like dedicated, 7th of it was dedicated to the Quidditch World Cup or whatever, and I just didn't care about it. Like, I mean, I understand there was other stuff that happened during that, but it was like so much. And I honestly think like had the book started in a different way, I would have gotten into it a lot quicker. But because that was kind of like what it was about, I really struggled with it. I mean, I enjoyed that part of it, and I enjoyed, like, the camping out and all that stuff that, like, happened with it, you know, and, like, I don't want to ruin it for anybody if anybody's not read Harry Potter, but, you know, with, like, the Dark Mark and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I enjoy it, but it's like, it's time for me to like do something, like to listen to something else and take a break, and then maybe I'll come back in January, or maybe I'll read at the end of December, who knows, you know, but maybe I'll come back at the end of January and I'll be real into it. But the other thing is that like once Christmas is over, I'm not going to want to be listening to Christmas books anymore on Audible, and I'm not going to want to be reading Christmas books anymore. So that gives me a whole week between Christmas and New Year's, and I could listen to the Order of the Phoenix then and still be where I wanted to be and still finish in February. I was supposed to finish in January originally, but I'm behind on that. So yeah. So I think that's my plan. Have you guys read the Harry Potter books? I'd be really interested to know if there's anybody out there that's read them that doesn't like them. I mean, in all honesty, like, I think they're really good. It's, for me, the little things that J.K. Rowling, like, includes in there. It's just, like, the little stuff that she notices and she includes that I think that makes the book so highly developed. But what's interesting to me is that, like, it's not a whole lot different than what I would have expected it to be like. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I had this preconceived idea of what the Harry Potter books would be like, and they're pretty similar to what I thought. I mean, not that I had, like, an idea of the plots or anything, because each plot is different in each, you know, book. But, like, I mean, I kind of, and maybe it's just because they've been so hyped for so long, but I kind of knew what they would be like. But they're very enjoyable to read, you know? I mean, even as an adult, they're fun to read. Alex is kind of surprised that I really like them, because we'll be out somewhere and I'll be talking about them to, like, friends or whatever. And the other thing that's interesting to me is, like, when we go out to dinner and I'll talk to friends of mine who are like Alex's age, right? So realistically, they grew up with the Harry Potter books, and I'm like, you know, have you read that? And they're like, no, I never read them. And I'm like, so surprised of how many people really haven't read the Harry Potter books. But are there any of you out there that have read them that didn't like them? I also haven't finished the movies. Like, I've been wanting, so my plan was to read a book, then watch the movie, read a book, then watch the movie, but I just don't watch a whole lot of TV unless I'm eating, and that's typically when I watch, like, documentaries, or, you know, like, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna watch, you know, one episode of Making the Murderer tonight, and then I kind of get through it that way. But, I am, like, God, halfway through Prisoner of Azkaban, the movie or something, and the thing is like, I really like it. I just turn it off and then I don't watch it. But you know what I did watch the other day when I was going to bed with the dogs? This was the morning that I couldn't sleep, and so I brought all the dogs up to bed with me after taking them out, and Alex had left for work, and it was so funny because Boo Radley was sitting right there, and it was just me and Boo, because Pee-Pee and Tucker were at the end of the bed kind of playing and stuff, and Boo was sitting right there, and we were watching the movie Santa Paws. Santa Paws, the movie, is actually on Netflix, and I got like 15 or 20 minutes into it. It's actually not too bad. It's about this, have you guys ever seen Santa Paws? I mean, it's really not too bad. It's about this, although Santa Claus, like, his makeup job is pretty bad in it, but, and I feel like Mrs. Claus, like, I know her from some other movie that I've seen, I don't know, but it's about, I haven't got to actually the dog part yet. That's how far into the movie I got. We got real tired, Boo and I, we turned it off, but, it is about this guy whose grandfather dies, and his grandfather owned this toy shop, I think in New York City, and then there's this little girl, and she goes into this, like, foster home / kind of orphanage kind of place. It has a very Annie feel to it, and I don't really know how that's all. And the one girl that lives there, she wants this bike from this toy shop, and the only way they can get the building, the grandfather left, like, basically the building that has the toy shop in it to his grandson, who's, like, of course, real negative, and they're from LA. Why is it always in these Christmas shows that people that hate Christmas are always from LA? Have you ever noticed that? It's the same thing as, like, on Came Upon a Midnight Clear. Like, everybody in LA hated Christmas. It's like this whole thing that, like, if you live in California, you hate Christmas. Did you notice that about Hocus Pocus, too? If you lived in California, or if you live in California, you should be pretty bitter about how the movie industry portrays you. That you guys are unemotional, holiday-hating people. But in the Midwest and East Coast, we love the holidays. See, because we're emotional, sensitive people. We're nice like that. But if you live in California, you're a hateful lot, is what you are. Might want to open my bottle of water, but it's the truth, too. But anyway, so then they have to make it through one Christmas successfully, like make a profit or something off of one season of Christmas with his toy store open to be able to sell the building for it to be his or something like that. And of course they're like, oh my God, we do. You know, it's like, you just got gifted a building, shut up. But this is what I'm thinking as I'm watching Santa Paws. But it's cute. Apparently there's like Santa Paws, Santa Paws 2, Santa Buddies, Santa Buddies Paws 2, 5, and 6. There's so many of these movies with these dogs, which always, it cracks me up because there'll just be a dog standing there and then they have those like talking mouths. They're like, hello, how are you? It's so funny. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because there is actually a talking dog at the beginning of the movie when they're at the North Pole. Of course they're at the North Pole. Santa's in this. Oh my. Christmas is such a great time of year. I know people get so bitter about Christmas, but I really don't understand it. And then I would say stuff like this to my mom about, you know, and my mom, she loved Christmas movies. She loved Miracle on 34th Street. She loved to make cookies, Christmas cookies. Do you remember, I know what I was gonna, the cookies I was trying to remember that my mom made. I don't know if maybe I talked about it on here. But do you guys know those wreath cookies that are made with cornflakes? And then you like, It's basically like Rice Krispie treats, but you use cornflakes instead, and then you make little wreaths out of them. Oh my God, I love those so much. I also love those cookies that have the peanut butter, or have they're peanut butter, and then they have the Hershey Kisses in it. I love those too. But, I would always say stuff to my mom about Christmas like this back in the day, and I would say, like when I was younger, and I'd be like, oh Mom, I love Christmas so much, and Santa Claus this and Santa Claus that. And she'd say, yes, but Peter, let's not forget, it's Jesus' birthday. I would say, yes, Mother, I know. Oh. My husband is so funny. He keeps on asking me to do stuff on Saturday night. There's like this Christmas mart like in Carmel, the north side of Indianapolis, and he keeps on asking me to go do it. We're supposed to do it on a date, right? So tonight he was like, oh my God, do you want to go to this Christmas mart thing? It's on Saturday night. I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds like fun, but we have your Christmas party. And he goes, oh shit. I was like, you keep on forgetting that we have your Christmas party on Saturday night. And his work Christmas party is on Saturday. Because of course we always have Christmas parties the 1st of December. Why is that? And then you know what work people tell me? I knew people last year that had work Christmas parties in January, which I think is crazy. And they'd say, well, they like to do it then because people have like personal Christmas parties, like closer to Christmas. Well, I don't have any personal Christmas parties to go to closer to Christmas, which means that everybody that I know is going to Christmas parties, and then we're just sitting at home on the weekends, and it's real depressing. I think I'd like to have a work Christmas party closer to Christmas. I really don't want this chopstick to be gone yet, but it is. I kind of like going to, you know, his work Christmas parties, and I get to just be the husband and just stand there. All the husbands talk and stuff. It's kind of fun. I wouldn't have been any good at that like 20 years ago, but I enjoy it now. It's fun for me, you know. Especially like year after year when you get to know the people and all that kind of stuff. Do you guys go to like work Christmas parties? Are they real dressy where you go? What time is it, I wonder? I'm gonna not want to get up in the morning for this hair appointment, I know that. But I have to. My hair is unruly right now. I don't remember going to a lot of Christmas parties when I was a little kid. I mean, I remember we would always have the holiday party. Do they even do that in schools anymore? Or are we so weird about all that shit that we can't have holiday parties in schools anymore? But we used to always have the holiday party, you know, in school. And it would be like, so, you know, school would be like, the last day would be like on a Friday. Which, do you remember when we would get snow days before the holiday break? And that would be so fantastic, but you'd be real kind of sad that you didn't get the holiday party. Oh my God. But like, so we would have, you know, the holiday concert would be on like that Monday or Tuesday of that last week. And then, do you remember the holiday concert? Oh God, I loved that so much. Even up until high school, I loved that because I was in orchestra in high school. And then my friends and I, we would all go out afterwards after the holiday concert in high school. We would go to Steak and Shake and get cheeseburgers and milkshakes and smoke cigarettes. But when I was like in elementary school, you know, and we would like have like on Monday or Tuesday you do the holiday concert, you know, and then like you would have like the holiday party on that Friday, and like, you know, the mom chaperones would come in, they would bring in like the red cupcakes, and, you know, I'm talking about like the red and green cupcakes, and then you get to watch like a movie, and everybody get like a little gift or something like that. It was real nice. Do you remember that? Oh, I love all that. It was like the whole build up to Christmas, I think back in the day was different than it is now, you know, like even think it's so much about, to me, about the spiritual aspect of it, or Santa Claus, or whatever. I think it's just this magical feeling that happens at that time of year of wanting, you know, that anything is possible, anything magical can happen, you know. Although, I mean, the last 2 Christmases have not been so great for me, you know. Last year, you know, my uncle was very ill, and the year before, my aunt died of, you know, lung disease right after, and it was her last Christmas. And, you know, last year PP was sick. It's just, you know, it's just... So, anyway, but I think it's just the idea that, like, anything is possible, you know, that, and that's from that movie Season of Miracles, too, by the way, if you haven't watched it. She says that anything is possible. And she doesn't believe it. And then he gives her the book, the police officer that falls in love with her aunt gives her the book, The Secret Garden, and he says, anything is possible, Lainey. Her name is Lainey, and I don't know how I remember this. I've seen that movie so many damn times. Anything is possible, Lainey. And she gets real upset, and she's like, yeah, unless your mom's a drug addict and she's in jail, then you can't see her. I don't believe anything's possible. But by the end, she does believe anything is possible. But I do think it's kind of that aspect, you know, of Christmas, that anything is possible, and, you know, everybody's just kind of happier, and you get to spend time with your family, and there's not a lot of commitments. I don't know, it's just like, you know, and it's just like this dreamy state of world, and you get to give a lot to people, and I don't know, I just love Christmas, you know, I love everything about it, I always have, and I don't want to become jaded about it. You know, I don't want to, as I get older, become jaded about holidays. And I think I was kind of always worried about that because my dad is very just cynical about, you know, like Christmas and, you know, whatever. And I just didn't want to become that, you know. I was like, I mean, he's like, my dad loves the holidays, but he's very, like, sarcastically cynical about them, like, because he thinks it's funny, I think. I don't know. But I think that's why, like, you know, when we were kids, it's like not just Christmas itself, but I think it's the build up to Christmas that's so much fun. It's almost like that is more fun than the actual holiday of Christmas itself. And last year, you know, going up to Christmas, when I was reading all the Christmas books and listening to all the audio Christmas books and watching all the Christmas movies and stuff, like, that really made it more fun for me, like, the up to the days of Christmas, you know, like, I really enjoyed that a lot, that, like, I got to hear all these different Christmas stories and stuff, and I'm gonna start doing that again, too, like, starting on December 1st, I'm gonna do that, you know. I've been trying to think of, like, some other things that okay, it ended, I didn't even know we were at the end, so I was saying, and I also want to, like, incorporate some things into YouTube, like with doing some Christmas stuff as well. I don't really know what I want to do on there, but something. I mean, I've been, like, starting the giveaways and stuff like that, and I kind of feel like I want to do, like, a giveaway on all my channels. Like, I want to do a giveaway on this channel because you guys have been so gracious to, like, watch my vlog throughout the years or whatever, and but I don't really know what I want to do as far as a giveaway. I don't want to just do a favorites giveaway again. If you guys have some suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. So yeah. It's weird now, too, you know, like, now that, I mean, my mom has been gone for so long, but, like, when my aunt was alive, she basically, like, the traditions that, you know, of the things that I would do with my mom, other than go to Gatlinburg, were very similar. I mean, the same kind of Christmas dinners, whatever. I mean, Alex and I would still get together with my aunt, you know, and do all that. So it was it had the same feeling. But now that my aunt and uncle are gone, it's kind of like really truly like the end of an era. And now my Christmas is really just like Alex's family's Christmas, you know? Which I have to say, like, there's positives and negatives to that. I mean, you know, the negative is that, I mean, I'm sure I'll see Caroline this year for Christmas, but the negative of that is that it just makes me sad, you know, that, I don't know, like, I think it would have really been important for my mom and my aunt that we had kept, like, all these, somebody asked me this actually in a Q&A, the questions that, like, I put this Q&A thing up on Instagram, and for Alex and I to do it. We've been meaning to do it for like the last 2 weeks. Well, I did one like a month ago, and then we never did that. And then I've been meaning to do it like the last, so I put it up there again like 2 weeks ago, and we were gonna do it last weekend and we didn't do it, or maybe it was last week, I don't know. So we're gonna do it this weekend, but at least film it this weekend. One of the questions I got on there was, that was a long answer to get to what I was gonna say. One of the questions on there was, do you and Alex, like, is there any way that you keep traditions alive, you know, for your mom? And, like, I think other than watching some of the Christmas shows, like, I really don't. Like, I really don't. I don't know. Like, I just don't, you know, keep any of the traditions alive for my mom. But I don't really know, like, other than going to Gatlinburg, because that's what we did, or, you know, exchanging presents and putting the tree up. I mean, it's not like my mom and I had, like, like, Alex's family has very specific traditions that they follow for the holidays. And, like, when Christmas dinner happens, always is like, it's always at, like, you know, 10 o'clock, and 9 or 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. But it's late in the evening, you know? And then they, you know, Santa Claus comes at midnight, always, like, right at midnight, like the doorbell rings. And, you know, then Santa Claus flies over and drops the presents and rings the doorbell. And that's kind of the whole idea of Santa Claus. And then everybody opens the presents. And last year, was it last year? Or was it the year before? I can't remember. I don't even remember Christmas last year. I mean, let's just be for real. A lot of shit happened at Christmas last year, you know. But were we at Alex's aunt's house, or were we at his mom's house last year for Christmas? I don't remember. Well, it was either last year or the year before. I feel like it was last year, and I recorded it. Alex's brother and Liliana, they, like, did this whole, like, beach thing where they I think that was last year, and I did record it, where they put together this whole, like, thing, and, like, they had music blasting, and they had, like, this DJ, like, you know, disco lights going, and it was, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and Alex's uncle was, like, real tired. He was like, okay, I cannot believe we were doing this. And everybody was dancing, and they gave out these awards. I mean, it was really nice what they did, but it was, like, you know, I mean, at 2 o'clock in the morning, people were kind of, like, ready to, like, even Alex was like, I'm ready to go to bed. Like, this is kind of ridiculous. Especially when we had sat around for 6 hours waiting for Santa Claus to come in, when we could have done all that earlier. But apparently that's what they do. And, like, in Venezuela, you know, like, Alex and his family, like, they would go to Margarita Island, and they would get a little place on the beach, and Christmas there is completely, I mean, you know, I think here in the United States, we think very much of Christmas as being like, you know, oh, holy night and silent night and very still and very quiet and things like that, except for maybe Christmas Day with everybody, like, opening presents and all the craziness and whatever. But there, it's more of, like, a celebration, you know, and it really is a religious celebration of, you know, the birth of Jesus and things like that. And, but they do it with, like, celebrating and dancing and staying up all night long and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of different there than it is. Oh, it definitely is different there than it is here, you know. And they really kind of, like, stay up real late. I mean, every Christmas that I have spent with Alex's family, like, we don't, I mean, I think, like, even, like, the first couple Christmases that we were together, like, he would stay there and sleep on the couch, because they would just, like, it would be, you know, all the cousins and Maya and Nina and everybody would be in town, and they would all stay, you know, and, like, sleep on the, you know, and they would, like, at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they'd be like, I'd be, like, ready to go home, and Alex would be like, okay, we're gonna watch a movie now, and I'm like, we're gonna do what? I'm like a 36-year-old to 40-year-old man at the time, right? And I'm like, we're gonna watch a movie now. I mean, you know, now I look at that and I kind of love that aspect of them. You know, it's so fun, and I participate in that too. But those first couple of years, what I usually do is, I usually run home and let the dogs out and get a cup of coffee and kind of take, like, a half an hour to, you know, Peter time to kind of, like, digest a little bit. But back then, like, I'd be like, we're staying even longer. So I would go home and he would just stay overnight there, and I would, you know, go let the dogs out and all that kind of stuff. But now, you know, as he's gotten a little bit older, because like Christmas Day, they don't do anything really. Like sometimes they'll have like leftovers and everybody will come over, but there's no unwrapping of presents. That's all been done the night before. So there's like nothing to do on Christmas Day. Like they don't have a Christmas meal. They don't do any of that kind of stuff, you know? And so what we would do is we would go over to my, you know, aunt's or my cousin's house, and we would have like a very dressy kind of like sit down Christmas dinner. We would, you know, open presents and all that kind of stuff. When my aunt and uncle were alive on Christmas Eve, well, I think almost the entire time that Alex and I were together, my aunt stopped wanting to cook on Christmas Eve, because Christmas Day, like, she and my cousin would put together like a huge spread, right? But like, you know, with a turkey and dressing and all that kind of stuff and mashed potatoes. I mean, the Christmas Day dinner, but like on Christmas Eve, when I was growing up and stuff, like I said, we would have like a very dressy sit-down dinner. But I would say like in the last 10 years, we didn't do that. And we would always go out to someplace really nice, like, you know, Ruth Chris, or like, you know, Fleming's is a steakhouse here. Or we went to Capri a couple years ago, which is like this Italian restaurant. We would go to someplace like, you know, very nice restaurant. And, which they were always interestingly very busy on Christmas Eve, and have like a really nice sit down, you know, dinner. And my aunt and uncle would take us all out to dinner. It was nice and it was fun, you know, and then we would go back over to my aunt and uncle's house for like, my aunt would always get this like chocolate cake, and she would go on and on about this chocolate cake. She would be like, it's like 3-layer chocolate cake, and I got it from Taylor's Bakery, and it's like the best chocolate cake. And Taylor's Bakery is this little bakery here in Indianapolis. There's like 2 or 3 of them, I think, in the city, and they're fantastic. It's also where the rolls must come from on holidays. But she would have this chocolate cake, and so we would go back to the house and have like a cup of coffee and the chocolate cake. I miss that. I don't know why, I just had this feeling where I miss that. Well, maybe I'll have to do that this year and get the chocolate cake. Maybe that's a tradition I can keep alive. But anyway, we would go over to my aunt's house. I mean, this is all like, you know, we would eat dinner, like our dinners were early, like 4:30 or 5. And then, you know, we would be back at their house by like 6:30 with a chocolate cake and, you know, a cup of coffee. And then we would open like one present or something. And then we would go to Alex's. We'd go home. Usually we would change, like at Alex's aunt's house, we would take like jeans and a sweater or something. A couple years ago, we all had to wear pajamas for Christmas Eve at Alex's aunt's house. Alex's cousin Maya and him wanted to do onesies, so we all had to wear pajamas. And I wore like pajama pants and a sweater. That was like mine. But that was a fun year. That was really a fun year. I think that's really what I love most about Christmas, is just being with family, you know. For extended periods of time that you don't really get to see them like you would any other time of the year. Isn't it weird when you can, like, I could almost feel like my tears kind of welling up there a little bit. I don't know why. I didn't feel emotional, but I don't know. It's weird to think that, like, you know, for 40 years of my life that I remember, all of my Christmases looked very similar. And then it's like halfway through my life, my Christmases are changing, you know? Or just, like, life changes, I guess. It's weird, you know? Do you ever think about that? Like, I don't know that it makes me sad anymore necessarily. It just makes me realize, you know, that like life changes, you know, and like sometimes it's crazy for me to think that like I haven't been on YouTube really that long in the grand scheme of things. I mean, YouTube is such a huge part of my life, and a huge part of my life. And less than 3 years ago, I wasn't even on YouTube, you know? 3 years ago, I wasn't even thinking about starting a channel or anything. It's crazy to me when I think about that, you know? That in less than 3 years, my life has changed so much. It's exciting to me, though, too, because then, you know, it makes me wonder, like, where I'll be 3 years from now. I think that between now and turning 50, I think my life is going to be really good. I think I kind of have a gut feeling about it. Getting in shape and changing like my outlook on wanting to get in shape and all that has really kind of put a spin to my perspective of like wanting to accomplish different things at this point. You know, I'm a believer, like I say this on a lot of my videos, you know, like Oprah says, you know, once you've accomplished your dream, now it's time to dream a bigger dream. And I feel like life is constantly evolving and changing like that, and it's about going with the flow of the universe and kind of like, well, where is the world taking me? You know, where am I supposed to be next? What's that supposed to look like? And not necessarily being resistant to that, you know? Just floating and being open to whatever opportunities, experiences, changes come your way, you know? And I'm very happy right now. Like, you know, like I'm very content with my life today. And I hate that turn signal. I've got to go get that changed. And I don't even have time tomorrow to go get it changed because I've got 9 million things I have to do. So I'm going to have to do it on Friday. It'll probably take me 5 minutes to go in there and get it done. But anyway, Jiffy Lube. Did you watch my rant video today that I did on Jiffy Lube? A couple people recommended AutoZone. I did used to take my car to AutoZone, so I may do that tomorrow and see if they'll change it because I know that I can't change it on my own. Somebody in there said that their mom had a little kit to change the lights, but I don't have that. I know, because I've looked everywhere through this car when I was changing it before, and there's nothing like that in there. But, what was I saying? You know, I'm very content. I'm very happy with where my life is right now, you know? And like that's sometimes where I think like if life could just stop right here and not change one bit, like I'd be so happy, you know, if it could just be me and Alex and the dogs and travel a couple times a year and whatever. But the reality is, in the same, you know, idea is like if that were the case, a lot of the things that have happened in my life, good, bad, and indifferent, that have made me who I am today, would never have happened, you know, if life had just always, because, I mean, this is obviously not the one moment in my life that I wished would never change. I mean, there's been many moments like that, you know, and, that's why I kind of take things that happen in my life and I try to just roll with it, because it's like, well, you don't know what's going to come from this, you know? I mean, I'm sure with each of my exes, there were moments where I was like, I wish time would just stop forever. Well, if that had happened, I wouldn't have my husband now. I wouldn't have my dogs, you know? And it's like, I always like when I think back on like really good times with like my mom, like when I link like my mom and my ex together, there was this moment when I moved into like my second office. So my first office that I had, like I shared the building with like 2 other people. Well, then the woman that had like brought me in there originally, like I moved into her office and she left. And we like did all this, I brought all my stuff in there one night and, and it was like in the summer and it was so nice outside, and there was like a band playing at the bar across the street, and I had the back, like I had this side door that you could walk in and out, just like right out into the alley, and I parked back there and stuff. And so we heard this band coming in and out. My mom and my ex and I were like carrying stuff in and situating it and all this kind of stuff. And we were going to be there for a couple hours. My mom ran to Wendy's and she went to, got us a bunch of cheeseburgers and brought us back stuff. And we sat on the floor and we ate these cheeseburgers. And it was just like this really kind of like nice moment in time. But like when I look at the collective, and I had a lot of good times with my mom and all of my exes and all of my friends that aren't in my life today, right? I have lots of great memories in my life of people that are not in my life today. But I want to continue to have new people in my life, and I want to continue to have new experiences and new memories, I think fear sometimes keeps us in that I wish I could just stop time kind of mentality. But I guess in reality, I don't really want to stop time. I think the hardest for me is really with my dogs, like when I know that the day is going to come when they're no longer there. But then I try to use that as gratitude to be like so focused, like on today, like Pee-Pee being, eating his dinner and being so like, jumping around and being crazy and stuff like that, like I try to stay focused in the positive of being happy about those things today instead of, I don't know, losing a parent kind of fucks your head up. I think it's weird, like I've had friends of mine that like lost their parent like at different ages. Like my mom lost her dad when she was 4. And I think she had a lot of like trust issues, abandonment issues and things like that because she lost a parent so young. And I think that's the effect that it has on a lot of children. And then I think like if you lose like a parent, let's say in high school or in college, I think it definitely has a different effect on you. I don't think it's necessarily those issues, but I think there are issues out there. And I think at each age, when you lose a parent, it's different. And I'm sure it's with losing anybody, but I'm talking about specifically like a parent or whoever you grew up with, grandparent, whatever, aunt, uncle, but when you lose a parent, like when I did, in your mid-30s, when you're kind of going through like this life change anyway, this transition period of your life, like, because that's important. It wasn't just the age that I lost my mom at. It was that I had, just left a 13-year career and, had just gotten out of a relationship. It was a lot of endings. And then my mom passing away happened in the middle of that, and I think like it really screwed with me. Like I really think in my head somewhere, it just seemed like this finality of a lot in my life. It seemed like the last kind of thing, and like I remember when I moved out of that office that I was just talking about, and Alex had gotten these Maroon 5 tickets that day, and Alex loves Maroon 5, and he really, really wanted to go and see Maroon 5. Well, I kind of had this idea that I was just gonna, be in that, I was gonna recreate the day that we moved in there, but it was gonna be with me and Alex, and it was gonna be kind of me ending, and I did not want to move into my new office. I was completely resistant to it, and I just was real like, I don't want to be there, and really what it was about was like I didn't want new starts, new beginnings in my life, and this new beginning was scary to me, and that was like probably our first year together. Yeah. I'm trying to think when I changed all that. It would have been the end of our first year together. Yeah. If we got together in August, it would have been maybe the following year. Yeah, it would have been. So anyway, so we had been together like a year, and I said to him, I go, well, I can't possibly get everything done. And we had, are you ready for this? Second row seats to see Maroon 5. And I'm not a huge Maroon 5 fan, but I kind of became one that night. They were great. Anyway, and he said, well, why can't you do it during the day, and I can help you with some stuff, and then we'll go to the concert, because I really want to see the concert, and then we'll come back and we'll finish it. Well, I can't get that stuff done. And he goes, I think you're just saying you can't get this stuff done. This is why I love my husband, right? He goes, I think you're just saying that you can't get that stuff done because you have some emotional attachment to this office that you're not wanting to let go of. And he was like, and you need to go to this concert tonight. It'll be good for us. and I went to the concert and it was good for us. And I moved out of that office and it really didn't have, I mean, I remember like getting really emotional and, you know, especially when like I handed my keys to my landlord who, he had to like foreclose on the reason I ended up moving out of that office to begin with was because he had to foreclose on the building. And I was literally the last person out of there because he had gotten really, really sick and he couldn't keep it up anymore. And I remember, and I had been there forever, and I remember when I went over there and I handed him my keys and I was like real emotional about it. And he goes, well, we had a good run, didn't we? And I just like, I mean, I could probably start crying right now thinking about it if I really wanted to get up and, you know, thinking about it tonight, but I just don't. And it just was like all this weird change to me, and it was the end of an era. Well, flash forward a couple weeks, my new office, which the office that I'm in now, was about it was like 2 blocks away, okay? Literally, I'm not even lying, a 2 to 3 minute walk, okay, from my old office to my new office. But my new office is literally in the heart of Broad Ripple. It's like right on top of restaurants and bars. My old office was on a side street. It was right across from a bar. They even tore the building down now because like he sold it and like in foreclosure, or like I don't know, it was in foreclosure and somebody bought it and they tore it down. Now it's like an art gallery or something. But anyway, it's a really cool building now. But my office doesn't even exist over there anymore. So, it's like 2 or 3 weeks later, and I was real bitter about that office. Like I didn't want to be in there, and we had a great time at the Maroon 5 concert. And I didn't even go back over there that night and get the rest of my stuff out of there. I went and did it like the next day. But I was standing in my office one night, and in Broad Ripple they do this like gallery walk thing where you can get wine and like walk around. Okay, but they do this gallery walk thing where like you can get wine at these different bars and then walk around and go from like little gallery to little, because there's all these little art galleries there. It's kind of like an artsy like district, but then it's also got a lot of college bars and stuff. So anyway, well, it was that night and I was getting ready to leave and I had the lights on in my office, and people always say that my office kind of like resembles like a Soho apartment like at night because I have like the lights on and whatever, and you can hear the restaurants downstairs, like you can hear it coming up and like what music they're playing and people talking and stuff like that. And so I was standing there and I was like, I had the windows open and it was so nice outside. It was like, I don't know, it would have been like October or something. And it was so warm and it was so nice outside and I could hear the people outside talking and stuff. And I mean to tell you, I like fell in love with that place immediately, you know, fell in love. I don't even use it anymore except for writing, and I love that space so much, and like I'm so resistant to like giving it up, and because it just doesn't cost me a whole lot, and I have it like through the end of the year. So when I talked to him, he's like, I've been going month by month, and he's like, well, what do you want to do after that? I'm like, I don't really know what I want to do after that, you know, like. And I'm like, I could still use it as a writing spot. Alex is like, I don't know why you don't turn it into like a YouTube studio, and then you could actually go there and film your videos, and then you would have a space to film your videos and it doesn't have to be at the house all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that. I don't know what I should do with that space. But it's not super expensive, and I don't want to give it up either, but I just love that space so much, you know, and I don't know. I might keep it as a YouTube place, we'll see. The office that I'm in, because I've started like, you know, taking stuff down and whatever, and like trying to figure out what I want to do with it anyway. I've been bringing some stuff home, but not a lot. And, but like, where I write, that room, I had all these like flowered stickers on the wall, and I finally took them down because they just were peeling off and whatever. And I thought, you know, I could paint this wall and I could actually make this like a little YouTube area, you know, where... So I'm thinking about maybe doing that, getting another ring light, taking that in there, and then like actually getting up and going in and filming videos like in that spot. I don't know. One of the things that I love about my life right now is that, you know, a couple months ago I felt like this great rush to have to make decisions, and I don't feel that anymore, you know. somebody made a comment and they were like, you're really inconsistent on your channels right now. And I was like, well, do you watch my vlog? I've talked about this in my vlog a lot. I don't necessarily feel like I'm inconsistent. I feel like I'm posting videos when I feel really passionate about posting videos, because I'm not gonna just put up crap just to put up a video. I'm not willing to do that, you know? And I'm back to really enjoying YouTube again and really having fun with it and really enjoying the interaction that I'm having with you guys. And I love that, you know? And so, I don't know, like, and that's a new beginning too. That's a different, you know, it's not that I didn't love YouTube before, but I feel like I had this drive. Like I would get up and I would have this drive. You know, I don't feel like that anymore. And now I'm back to where I was when I first started, which was, I just am loving doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I love it so much. And that's why I've been wanting to, like, post more review channels. Well, here's how I'm screwed on that review channel right now. I've been wanting to do some food reviews, but I have to film those on my cheat meal day. I'm gonna have to talk to my trainer about that, because I mean, I'm gonna do some food reviews on my channel. I don't know how I'm gonna do them. I mean, I'm gonna do healthy food reviews, but I don't honestly know how I'm gonna do them and stick to my diet through the week. Like, I mean, I really don't, you know, like, especially today after I, like, wrote down everything and put it in my FitnessPal and whatever. And, does anybody out there have, like, pay for my FitnessPal app every month? Is it worth it? Like, I can't look and see, like, my specifics of how many carbs and everything I'm using a day unless I do that. So can somebody let me know if they think it's worth it or not? On my FitnessPal, because I had to write down all of my, like, carbs today and everything and add them up and make sure that I was, like, within my limits, which I stuck within my limits today, but, like, I think by, like, 1 or 2 carbs I was, like, within my limits. But anyway, I was like, what did that say? And it says Lovey Nails. I was like, what does that say over there? Yeah, so anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But, and then, like, I want to do this, like, shaving cream review, but, like, by the time I got back to the house tonight, it was 7:30, it was dark. Like, the bathroom light is not good light, you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, I'll put it up tomorrow, it'll be okay, you know? I'm like, there are people that post 1 or 2 videos max a week. I mean, there are YouTubers out there, like, huge YouTubers that post 1 video a week, right? And I love you guys that have been so supportive and have been like, post when you want to post, you know, like, we're here to watch it, you know, whatever. I try to post something every day. And, you know, whether that's my vlog, like, not just my vlog, but, like, my vlog and something else. Like, I try to do that every day because I do know that people love it. It means the world to me that people want to, like, watch my videos. And I feel so blessed, you know, that I have people out there that actually want to watch something that I make. Like, that is so cool. And, you know, I'm kind of, like, getting into, like, back into the schedule of, like, posting regularly, you know. I think in the next couple weeks I'll be, you know, it's taken me a whole month to get to the point where I've pretty much on a daily basis been posting, you know, I would say 3+ videos a day on different channels. So I think by, like, the beginning of the year, maybe I'll be back to where I'm posting, you know, every day on every channel. That would be my goal, would be to post on all 5 channels every day. That would be my goal. And once I get rolling, like, once I get going, like, I'm fine, you know? I think the other thing that would be good for me, too, would be to, like, film some videos, like, in advance. Like, when I'm, like, you know, on a day that I have, like, a lot of free time, film, like, 3 or 4 Peterisms videos back to back, or, you know, 3 or 4, I mean, like, I'm gonna have to do that with the review channel because I just can't, like, on a cheat day, like, I just really don't know what I'm gonna do with that. And I'm sticking to this diet, but I'm also gonna do food reviews on my review channel. So I've gotta figure it all out. I mean, I'm gonna do healthy food, but that's not always fun, okay? And that's not all the food that I bought. Like, listen, okay, I have every M&M that exists. I have every holiday Little Debbie sitting in my closet right now. I have holiday cereal, okay? This stuff does not fit on my meal plan. I've got to do these reviews. I'm gonna have to do them this Sunday. It's gonna be like boom, 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 boom. Anyway, it'll be like the most colossal cheat day ever on Sunday. He said cheat meal too, that's the other thing. Oh, it's all fun. It's so much fun, all of it. Isn't it a blessing that I get to just crack up and make videos about cereal that even any one person would actually want to watch? I love that so much, you know, and when somebody comments underneath there and they say, you just make me so happy, or you make me laugh, or whatever, like, I don't know, like, that's the blessing to all of it, really, truly, you know. That maybe for just a little bit, you know, in somebody's day, I make them chuckle or think about something differently, or I don't think of myself as this peace ambassador or anything like that. But I think it makes us all feel good when we cheer somebody up a little bit. You know what I mean? We all need that, don't you think? We all need a little cheering up. Anyway, so I'm going to get off here now and head back home so I can go to bed and get up for my hair appointment tomorrow. I'm going to start trying to... Oh, the battery's about to die anyway, so I guess that's good. I'm going to try to start filming throughout the day. I know you guys like that more, and it's also like, quite frankly, it's easier for me then to piece it together. And those seem to be like the longer ones that you guys like when I do them throughout the day. So, all right, listen, I love you guys so much. I need holiday movie recommendations. You guys keep on forgetting to put that in the comment section below. And so you're gonna get F's in drama class. If you don't leave me holiday, put below what your favorite holiday movie is ever, okay? Ever. And if you don't like holidays, then I guess put the Grinch. I love you guys so much. And put a little, if you made it this far in the vlog, everybody put a blue heart and a Christmas tree, okay? Love you guys so much. I hope you're having a fantastic week. It's almost the weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.